One cruise line is signaling their intention to reopen operations at the Port of Baltimore following the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse back on March 26th. I'll give you the updates on who it is and when they think they're going to do it. It's going to be a very strange reopening. I've got some thoughts. Plus, speaking of my thoughts, an online forum is pointing out some weird and ridiculous behavior by cruise chair hogs. You know what we're talking about. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. It's your Captain Corey, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. And let's get things kicked off with a question of the day. Question: have you ever sailed out of Baltimore on a cruise? Yeah, let me know your answer in the comments down below. We are talking about the Port of Baltimore. A lot of you, actually probably all of you, will remember the news that came out in the early morning hours back on March 26th. When the Francis Scott Key Bridge was struck by a container ship and collapsed. Now, in the months since then, they've been working to clear the channel out, and it sounds like we may have an opportunity to resume cruises out of Baltimore. At least that's what Carnival Cruise Line have sent out to their guests on an upcoming cruise of the Carnival Pride. This is the May 19th cruise of the Pride. That departure, Carnival is optimistic that they're going to be able to take it out of Baltimore. Well, not necessarily take it out of Baltimore. They're going to still leave from Norfolk and arrive back to Baltimore. Yeah, they're doing things in the opposite direction of how they closed the Port of Baltimore. Now, this leads to some logistical nightmares, if you ask me. The Carnival Pride holds about 2,100 passengers, and that means that Carnival is going to be forced to shuttle these passengers between cruise ports that are, well, they're not exactly right next door to each other. That's going to take a few hours in between ports. Carnival has sent out a letter indicating that, hey, if you're on this sailing, there's a really good likelihood that you're going to come home to a different port than the one you left from. So if you're driving, park in Baltimore, take a shuttle down to Norfolk, get on the cruise, and then when you get off your ship, you're going to be right there at your car. Now, that's a lot of logistics, considering that we don't even know if this cruise is going to be able to end in Baltimore. Carnival say that they're going to shuttle everybody back and forth on buses. They're going to provide snacks, transportation. Now, one caveat is you have to sign up online ahead of time for this bus service between cruise ports. So I just don't like this. Carnival, if it were me, I would say just come back to Norfolk, where everybody left from. Everybody's things are kind of there, and then just dead leg it up with an empty ship. I don't know why you're doing this, putting 2,100 people kind of out in a limbo situation, wondering. John Heald, I know you watch every now and then. Look, buddy, you need to raise this up the flagpole and say the right thing to do is just make our paying passengers able to make plans that are set in stone, because a lot of people like to explore the area before and after their cruise. And when you got all these question marks surrounding when and where and how you're going to get home, well, that sort of makes your vacation a whole lot less vacation-y, if you ask me. But you know what would make your vacation a whole lot more vacation-y? Well, it's showing up prepared, and the best way to do that is by checking out the things that the pros use in the Midships Amazon store. In there, you can find everything I take with me and won't cruise without. Check it out. There's a link in the description down below. I appreciate you supporting my channel. Thank you so much. Now, we're going to pivot the cruise news from a serious discussion to, well, a discussion that you may think is serious. We're talking about Chair Hogs, a recent posting on Reddit, which apparently is a website, is dedicated, well, a whole forum on there is dedicated to people venting about rude, entitled, and memorable, embarrassing experiences that they've had on cruises. And one of those posters talked about a little something like this. This here is a in-pool lounge chair. And these are on some cruise ships. And this post never said exactly what ship they were on, but that they were in one of these loungers when the ship was in port. So they intentionally stayed on board while everybody got off and enjoyed the cruise port. Something that I know a lot of you do in the Midships family, especially at the more popular cruise ports like Nassau, Cozumel, Costa Maya, all of these ports that you've probably been to a half a dozen times or more. A lot of folks have just kind of gotten wise to the fact that they have the whole cruise ship to themselves, basically, if they stay on board while everybody else goes and does their excursion, as some other folks might call it. And this couple, well, they decided to stay on the ship during this port call and relax by the pool in one of these in-pool loungers. And, well, the husband with his wife decided that he was going to use the restroom, which was supposedly about 10 feet away. He left his things, he left his wife on this lounger, and when he was on his way in, he turned his head to wave goodbye to the wifey sauce for a few minutes while he used the restroom, only to see some other lady was setting up shop in his seat. Right where his buns had gotten out of the seat was probably still warm from his booty heat, and this lady is just setting up shop. Now, he immediately returned to say, hey, look, I'm using the bathroom, I'm coming right back. But apparently this lady got very upset, said, there's only so many loungers and you've been on it all day. So what do you think? Should you be allowed to use a pool chair all day if you are into it, even if there's only so many of that specific type? Personally, yeah, sharing is caring, or as Carnival puts it, sharing is caring. Did you know that? That is the new Carnival slogan for their new chair police department that's on the Carnival cruise ships. That's right. They're coming around sticking little cards saying, hey, we noticed some crap on this chair, but you weren't with your crap. So this is the time we saw it. This is the time we're going to remove it. You can find it at the Towel Hut, folks. What do you think about all of this? It's wild to me. Now, personally, I can't sit for hours on end in any one particular spot. Maybe it's just all the caffeine, all the coffee I drink. It's really got me a little moving and grooving in life. I think you got to respect your other cruisers, but if you truly are using the amenity, you're not just throwing your stuff there and leaving it behind. I think you're welcome to it if it's a first come, first serve situation. Now, me personally, I was brought up a little bit different. I got that Midwestern sensibilities about me. And I would look around and say, okay, none of these are open and available. I've been in this. I've had the pleasure of using it for several hours. I'm going to go just sit in a regular chair so somebody else can enjoy the pleasure as well. That's personally how I cruise. That's personally how I live my life. But I'm still the guy that opens the door for somebody that I see coming in or out of the store. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below. Remember, right down there in the comment section is the thumbs up button. It's the best way to tell YouTube that other cruisers like yourself might want to see this video. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today, and until next time, we'll see ya on the Midships. La 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 la.